send people first day of Prime Week, day one. So raring to go, bin gym, got the pump, straight to the office. If you don't know what Prime Day is, it's basically Amazon's giga sale. Like they do it twice a year. Basically like Black Friday, 4 days of pure sale. So for us Amazon sellers, pure spend, right? So straight to sourcing, raring to go. Let's see what we can find.
How we doing, bro?
Yeah, good, bro. Been a good first 2 hours of the first Prime Day. So yeah, for those of you that don't know, Prime Day is just a mad sale, right? I'll show you some sourcing now. But here's what I just found, right? Here's a perfect example. So show on the screen, Tom, right?
What are we looking at?
Here's the keeper graph, okay? So you can see here, new Prime exclusive price. That's what it is. Prime Day is all about having Prime subscription. They basically, unless you're paying $7.99 a month for Prime exclusive, you won't be able to get it for this price. So it's like basically a way of Amazon getting you to subscribe to their like next day deliveries and all that, right? So you can see on the graph, it's $18.59. Usually sells for $31.39. So I put that in here now, $18.59, 31, what was it? $31.39, right? See, it's a 24% ROI, but it's a subscribe and save. So what subscribe and save basically is Amazon will save you money if you agree to repeat deliveries. So for this one, it literally says save 10% now for agreeing to repeat deliveries, but you can just cancel the redeliveries, right? So you can save 10% now, so you can actually get it for $16.73, but there is actually another trick where you can get another 5%. You can see here, you can save 15%, right? I'm not going to show you that trick, but if we were to get that extra 5% off, £16.73 times 0.95, £15.89 you could get it for, which makes it a 45% ROI. And the graph is literally perfect, right? Sales 700 to what, 1,000 times a month. Really low competition. Only FBM people on the listing. Like, this looks pretty good, right?
So explain that to them. FBM on the listing. What does that actually mean?
All right. So FBM is people that it's called fulfilled by a merchant, right? So it's when people sell the goods and actually ship and package them themselves, right? So FBA is fulfilled by Amazon. So we get our stock, send it to Amazon, or our prep center does. Amazon then take care of it when a customer orders the product. For FBM, when they buy the goods or they buy stock, they are actually keeping the goods stored with them in their warehouse, and then when they get an order through Amazon, they're fulfilling it themselves. So they're putting it in a poly bag or a box, putting a shipping label on it and sending it direct to customer, right? So there's quite a lot of people that do that. Not necessarily companies like brick and mortar stores that might also sell on like eBay and Amazon, for example, but for us, Amazon favors the fastest delivery, right? And we cannot, well, FBM people, sorry, they cannot compete with Amazon's delivery service. You can literally order something at like 11 o'clock at night and have it at your door by like 9 AM. There's no FBM service that uses Royal Mail or Every that can compete with that. They just can't, right? So they might be able to offer it cheaper or save a bit of money on Amazon fees, but the speed wise, they're going to get less sales. Plus, looking at this, look, we can just match, we can beat them all anyway. They're all priced £40 and higher, whereas the buy box usually sells for $31.39. So we're laughing anyway, right? The FBM sellers on this listing are literally irrelevant.
Why do people get into FBM? Sounds like way easier to scale FBA.
Way easier. I don't actually know. Me and Aiden tried it for a bit when we first got our office, but it was just like you spend so much time packing orders. You have to deal manually with returns. So if someone was to send one of your units back, you would have to like unpack it, check it works and all that, issue a refund. It's just messy, right? You don't realize how much Amazon actually take care of for their fee until you do some FBA. And me and Aiden had to taste it for 2 months and we were like, nah, this is just not scalable at all. The FBA fee is slightly more, it's faster, you get more sales, you're favored in the buy box anyway. Amazon's whole thing is built around speed and price, right? So FBA sellers, they get Prime, so we get Prime. So any of our stock that our customers buy, they send out next day. FBM people can offer next day delivery, but their cut-off point is much later. Whereas, like I said before, you can order something at 11 o'clock at night and it's at your door by 9 AM. With FBM, they're not going to be working 11 o'clock at night. They're not a big enough company to do that. So they'll have a cut-off point by like 3 o'clock. Like if I even went on one.
And that's why you get favored as FBA in the buy box.
Look at all these people, look. 29th of June, right now it's the what? 23rd. Free delivery 29th, 25th, 26th, 26th, whereas you get it from Amazon, you get it Prime, you get it tomorrow.
Wow.
You can't compete with the speed, you actually just can't. So, total insight into FBM, but let's just show them some sourcing, shall we?
What are these numbers in the background, by the way?
That's our sales, right? So as a sale comes in, I just watch it sometimes.
Hey.
What are we at?
Little dopamine, new sale.
Yeah, little dopamine. So every time it refreshes, there's been some form of sale or like a refund. I think we literally just had an order cancelled, which is annoying, right? But 3 PM, and we're on almost £600 profit, so pretty good start to the day.
Not bad.
Very good start to the day, right? But yeah, let's get rid of keeper for now. Let's move that one. I've saved it in my spreadsheet already. So for those of you who don't know, you would have seen that video earlier in the channel. Would they have seen that? Yeah, they would have seen that.
Yeah.
Where on the meta glasses where I was in my bed just sourcing. Exactly the same thing I want to do now, but because it's Prime Day, you can literally see at the top, Prime Day deals, right? There's a whole tab built around Amazon's deals, right? Their big sales. So what you can do is every time there's a Prime Day or a big sale, this will literally change depending on where we're at. It'll be like, say it's Black Friday, it'll say Black Friday. Say it's like Mother's Day deals, it'll say Mother's Day deals. It'll literally tell you the deal. And if there's deals, you're gonna click in that. You should be checking this every day, right?
There must be deals like all the time.
Constantly, bro.
Literally.
There's always like a payday deal around the corner, Mother's Day, summer deals, you know, like Black Friday. Right now it's a Prime Day, which is 4 days of sales, which is their whole big thing. So let's just jump into this, right? As soon as you click this, it comes up with this, and it's just, you know, like big sales out here. All these products are down on sale, and you're basically trying to go through these, carry out some checks, and see if they're worth it, right? So look, let's say I scroll down, right? Let's pick like this laptop, for example. You can see here, Prime Day deal, it's £299, right? £299.99 in there. Now we're gonna have a look at like where we'd look to sell this at. So pink line's the buy box line. So the buy box is this thing here, which we're all competing for in order to get the sales, right? Whenever you buy something off Amazon, you're buying it from the buy box, right?
So it's constantly fluctuating, and that line essentially, if you scroll down, that just shows all the history of like where that has been.
Yeah, so if I like zoom in, saying here like new Prime exclusive price £299.99. If I scroll up here, this is the Prime exclusive price £299, so that's what it matches. So when it says it's like, when it was buy box price at £398, you would have gone up here and you would have seen £398 in this buy box, right? It tells you like that's like the best that Amazon come up with based on their algorithm in terms of fastest delivery and cheapest. Yeah. So go to the keeper graph. Now I'm looking to like pick out what price. I can see it's pretty much up most of the time. It does have a few sales here and there, right? But it's a high ticket item, so usually recently it's been selling for like 400. Usually it's 400 mark, right? You can almost guarantee it's going to sell for 400 or above, right? A little bit of competition around here, look, you can see from the new offer count, but what we love to see on a high new offer count is how quickly it goes down. So
new offer count is basically new people joining the list.
It's how many people are on the listing in one given time, right? So at this point there was 63, but when the new offer count goes down like this, it means people are selling out, right? So that's a good sign. It means the product sells at the top, the product sells at the price we're going to want to sell at, okay? So now we're at what? We've got to pick our sales price, which is about 400 minimum, right? So I put 400 in here, it's about a 20% ROI. We were off of a 20% ROI. That is basically 20 that I'm taking. Just because it's slightly under, that's still great. High ticket item, you're making £60 profit per unit. It'll scroll down on the competition. A few people have hopped on, like this guy's got 21, but we're still at a 19% ROI. And he's FBM, which means he's got a slower delivery. So if I go back to what I just said on that last lead, pick into here, we're gonna, this seller, he's called what? Shalfern Ltd. See, he's now, his fastest delivery is the 29th of June, right, which is 6 days time. So even if I was priced, I reckon like £10 more, would still get the buy box because Amazon favors speed, right? Amazon's just built around speed. So even for like this guy, look, he's priced 410. He would win the buy box over this guy just because he's FBA and he can offer a faster delivery for £10, right? Obviously you can't go like crazy high. For example, like he's at 400. If you tried to sell this for £500, Amazon wouldn't give you it. But if it's close enough,
how do you determine if it's close enough?
I would say like honestly on like a high ticket item, like not even 1%, 1-2% max. Like, this guy will probably be lucky to get the buy box, I'll be honest. But like 1-2% increase in price. If it's like a lower ticket item, then it'd be like 1 or 2 per. On like a high ticket item like that, yeah, you can't up it too much, right? But enough to edge the buy box comfortably, you know. But we can also look at that, right? If I scroll down to here and I zoomed in, you can see what sort of sellers was winning the buy box. So right now there's an FBM in there. And then we go up to Amazon's winning it at what? 420. So there's Amazon winning the buy box, even though there's still FBM sellers on there.
Don't people say selling on listings that Amazon's selling on is a big no-no?
Well, yeah, but if you're gonna go by that, think about it like this, right? Because we thought that too, right? Amazon are gonna sell on all the best products. They're gonna sell on all the best brands. They're gonna sell on the fastest movers, all the products that the customers want. You know, the returning product. If you want to have a successful Amazon business, from my and Aiden's standpoint, you need to be on the same listings, right? You need to be on the ones that with the best like brand loyalty that people keep coming back for. Therefore, you're gonna be competing with Amazon. But you can literally see from this graph right here, look, you can see Amazon's line is the orange line. The buy box is just below it, like the whole way, you know, because that's what you do. You don't match Amazon. Well, you can, because you'll still get the buy box when you match Amazon. You just very slightly undercut them, and you'll find that they just hold. They'll be matching a retailer or the brand website, and the buy box can just slightly undercut them and still get sales. So
myth busted.
Myth busted. Yeah, if you're scared of Amazon, then you're missing out. I'll be real. People literally make a living off of selling on listings that Amazon's on, because that's what A2A is. Buy from Amazon, sell back on Amazon. Right, we make a living off of it. So yeah, literally like the whole graph you can see. Zoom in here, look, buy box. This one, for example, Amazon are holding at 450 quid and the buy box is at 385. Like it's like a £65 difference, and Amazon still aren't coming down in price. So
damn.
Yeah, do not be scared by Amazon at all. Even if people are telling you otherwise, right? It's cap. It's absolute cap. But yeah, let's see what else we can find. That's a pretty good one. Straight back to Prime Day deal. Just scrolling through, like you don't have to be, you know, you can go for all of these, like any Amazon owned brands, you literally can't sell them. Don't even click on them. You can't sell out Kindle, Echo. You don't even want to click through those. We've got like an Oral-B one here. Let's have a look at that. So again, it's on sale for 89. Let's have a look at the graph. So 89.99.
So what are you immediately checking for when you check the graph? What's the first thing?
Like that it's consistently like on sale or back at a full price, you know, like a nice like up and down graph. You know, you don't want to see like, I'm looking for like a bigger drop as well, you know. Do I think that from the graph there's going to be room for like a margin, you know, for us to make a profit? Like if it's only like a very small drop, let's say, I'll just go on to this for example, but you know, like this for example, £25 drop on a high ticket item, it's not that £35, it's not like a big enough drop for there to be a margin. So what you're looking for on my initial glance at the graph is there a significant amount of price change that I think there's going to be room for a margin, right, after Amazon fees. So for this one, you're getting it for £89.99. Amazon do try and go up to £300, right? Don't fall for that. Always look at where the buy box is and where your competition's priced, because yes, the product could go up to £300, right? That's clearly where Amazon keep bouncing back to. But if the buy box is lower, the buy box is getting the sales, not Amazon at this point, right? Always follow the pink line. So we scroll down now and you can see some FBM sellers here and some FBA sellers are at like 20% ROI, which is actually pretty good, you know, and that's about where the buy box line has been here. So once I've determined that it's kind of profitable, I'm just gonna have a quick glance at making sure it sells. So easiest indication for that is new offer counts going down like a staircase, right? So like here, for example, looks like quite a sharp drop. You zoom in, going down like a staircase. That's people slowly selling out. So I just want proof it's selling at the price that I'm trying to sell at. So here, like 139, 140, same here. No offer count slowly going down there. Even a small little drop off there, look, shows it's selling. So I can be kind of confident this is actually selling, right? It doesn't mean it's selling at £300, which it's not.
Who is buying a toothbrush?
Yeah, also that common sense just comes into it, right? There's no, you know, you're gonna come across a lot of these, like, I don't know what you want to call them, like profit traps, if you like. They're gonna look amazing on the eye, you know, like let's say there was no one on this product, you see it for £89, usually it sells for 300, right? If it's too good to be true, it usually is, I'll be honest, especially with A2A and OA. Like if it's a crazy high ROI like that, then you know 100% plus, especially from an A2A drop, you need to make sure it actually sells at that very top price, you know, which for this there's no evidence that suggests it does, because we can only see it selling at this buy box price, right? There's not once over the last 12 months, apart from here, does it briefly go up to 290, right? The rest of the time Amazon are up there, but this buy box line stays around this 140, 150 mark. So that's the price that we have to go by. Just go back.
So was that a good or bad lead? That was a
good lead, yeah.
20% ROI.
20% ROI is more than good enough.
We take that.
So that's like 2 leads we found there, that's them two. Just like scroll through, you can't sell like Apple products for example. So we got, I don't even want to know what that is, some baby monitor. £199, usually sells for £299. Graph looks great, right? Definitely up more than it's down. Nice, always returns to £299. After every sale, it's pretty much returning to that £299, right? So that's confidence that £299 is the top price. Then you're on sale for what? £199.99. £199.99. 34% ROI just from a drop there. That is actually pretty good going. That's one of the best leads I've found today, right? Is it selling? Let's see if you remember this. Is it selling?
Whoa, look at that bottom line. Yeah. Sellers they're selling out, mate.
Yeah, come on.
Come on.
Going down like a staircase, really quick as well, so it's definitely selling out. That's a great sign. So literally no one on it right now. Little tip, Google button, see where we're at sales, we can take it. Amazon, look, right now is like the only price down on sale. Even the brown website's there at $299. If I click into the brown website, they're at full price. Okay, so Amazon is the best place to get this right now, which is fine. Going to it, it's still an absolute money shot. So this would go into my spreadsheet now. Like all of these leads I found will go into my spreadsheet after I've sourced for probably the rest of this today. I'll like weigh up all the best ones, you know, I'll weigh up what's good, what's bad, which ones are my favorites, you know, because sometimes the second time you look at a lead, it doesn't look as good as the first time, right? And especially a benefit of having Aiden, right, and having 2 people in this business is we can check each other's leads, right? Because you do make human errors, you do overlook things, you do get like sucked in by the profit or like a favorite brand or whatever it might be. But
what's your favorite brand?
I ain't telling you that, no chance.
Oh, had to try, boys.
What I'm showing you right now is actual source, you know. I'm showing you some good brands. This is actually a screamer of a lead, right, by the way.
The baby monitor.
That's a screamer of a lead. So that would go straight in. Ends on the 26th of June, so you've only got 4 days to make a decision, but I can always literally guarantee where that price is going back to. For a 35% ROI, £70 profit per unit. That's money shot right there.
That is money shot.
Next, we've got another Oral-B one here. Let's have a look at that. £37.99, sells 5k pounds a month apparently. That graph's just not Not good, is it? Why is that graph not good?
Well, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of opportunity to sell it up.
That's the money shot. Absolute,
Is that the money shot?
Absolute money shot, yeah.
Oh!
In the last, like what, let's say since August last year, there's been one peak where you could probably have sold it, right? Even though here, that has actually gone down really quick, right? You can see how quick that's sold. It's not an IP drop. Right, so an IP drop is when you get booted off the listing, right? Do you want to see what an IP drop looks like?
So the brand essentially says, hey, I don't want any of these people on this listing right now.
Yeah, so there's certain brands on Amazon you actually can't sell, right? So let me show you an example of an IP drop.
Let's have a look.
So this is what an IP drop.
Oh,
an IP drop looks like, right? You can see that's like a vertical drop.
Jesus.
Right, that's basically 43 people were on the listing, then it went down to 3. That means that all 40 of those people have just been booted off, right? They're no longer allowed to sell.
They got one-shotted.
They got completely one-shotted, and then it goes back up, and then they've all got one-shotted again, all right? So no one's now allowed to sell this brand. So you need to avoid brands like this for 2 reasons. 1, you don't want to get stuck with stock that you can't move on, and 2, you don't want to get in any mess of like IP claims and that. There is always like the safety net that me and Aiden have is if we're like a bit unsure about a brand. When you buy from Amazon and you supply them with an Amazon invoice, there's literally no way they're going to come back to you and say that your products are fake, right? Because it's literally Amazon's own invoice. So unless Jeff Bezos, right, is shopping at Gogeta or Alibaba, then I think we're good, right? And we're always going to be protected by that. So
you don't like Gogeta?
No. Why would a big site called Gogeta, full of like wholesalers and that, why would they ask you to buy through their site? You then have a problem and then they give you the supplier's details. They're not going to do that, are they?
No.
Because then you just go direct to supplier.
Skip the middleman.
You just skip the
So
middleman.
they're just a glorified middleman.
They're literally a glorified middleman selling from like, don't get me wrong, right? There's actually verified suppliers on Gogeta, but it's not even worth the risk. I've heard absolute horror stories, and whether your stock's real or not, right? Amazon don't care unless they see supply chain. So if you can't get a supply chain, then it's pointless. Whereas when you buy from Amazon, supply chain stops at that Amazon invoice. They're not. Amazon's not going to ask you to find out their own supplier, you know. Whereas with Gogeta and you're buying from all these European countries and stuff, they're going to want to see all the way to the end of the manufacturer, right? There's definitely some back end shit going on, you know.
So TLDR, Amazon's the best supplier.
Amazon is the best supplier because it's your biggest safety net.
Aiden actually did a banger video on that. So click up here if you want to watch that one.
That's what we're looking for IP. So this product here, right? That almost looks like an IP drop, but if you zoom in, little drag, you can see it's a staircase, and we like a staircase, don't we, Tom?
Well, staircase means it's not one-shotted.
It means it's not one-shotted, but for me and Aiden, we look for a reason not to buy a lead, right? And my reason to not buy this lead is, over the last, since August, this has been like the only peak of like significant time. Even here, right, people have sold out, but you don't want to be sat on a product for that long, you know, waiting for it to sell out. You can't be riding on that. Amazon's about fast moving and reducing your risk.
Time is money.
Time is money. So if I was sat there looking at this lead, I generally, just from the first glance, I wouldn't care how profitable it is. Even from that new offer count, I don't care, right? All I care about is making sure that I'm definitely covering my arse in terms of making sure that I can get in and out of a listing as fast as possible. And with this one, not looking too good, eh? Not looking too good.
It's interesting. So you always look for a reason not to buy something.
Not to buy a lead, rather than a reason to buy a lead.
I guess that's just abundance.
It's abundance, but it's also just like common sense, right? Because if you look for a reason to buy a lead, like it's profitable or you like the brand, that's where more mistakes come from. Whereas if me and Aiden look for a reason not to buy a lead and then we can't find one, that's how we can buy with confidence. Because we know that what we're buying, there's literally nothing wrong with it. Right, so even sometimes, look, we do like, the only thing we'll kind of like fluctuate on would be fairly new brand, we're unsure if it's IP or not, but we're always protected by Amazon. Or it'll be like, let's say it's like a 17% ROI, but it's a dead cert graph and we know we're going to turn it around within 4 weeks, right? There are a few things we bend the rules on, but most of the time we're looking for a reason not to buy a lead, you know? So for this one, not up anywhere near enough.
So how do you know when these sales are going to end? Obviously, this is a specific example. We know Prime deals are going to end. But generally speaking, how do you know?
So there's a few ways. First one, fairly new thing, that little eye symbol there. Hover your cursor over it.
Should he tell you?
And it will tell you roughly when the deal ends. I'll be honest, right, that's not like bang on. On the 26th of June, that's not going to immediately go back up. Some of them will go a bit longer, but it gives you an idea of roughly when the price is going to go up. The second way, just found a Phillips lead, not for the lead or anything about it, just so I can show an example of a graph, right? So you can see here, top price, sale price, right? Top sale, all the way. So how I can be confident in the price is going to go back up to where I want it to go back up to is you just follow the keeper graph pattern, right? There's so many brands like this. You know, a lot of brands just follow the same suit. On sale for 2 weeks, back at full price, on sale. So as soon as you see a graph like this, right, you know, where it's literally always on sale for roughly like 2 weeks, you know, they're basically all the same size, most of these sales. It just follows the same pattern. That's the confidence that it's going to go back up. Plus, you look at the keeper graph, what price does it always go back up to? 179.99, 179.99, 179.99. It just follows a pattern, right? Third way, Google button. And this is for any product, right? This all works for any product. Can you see how there's like grayed out versions of pricing, right? It's just like on price now, was £200. Use that as confidence of where the price has come from. It's now on sale for 80. It was 200, and that's confidence of where the product's going to go back up to in terms of price, right? So if you've got all three of those things, that's like concrete evidence your product's definitely going to go back up. The only time that I am like alarmed in terms of a product going down and staying down is if it's like a new version of it's coming out. Let's say like FIFA, a new version of FIFA or games or something like that's coming out.
New generation toothbrush.
Yeah, new generation or whatever, right? Usually there'll be some indication on a brand website if it's clearance. Amazon doesn't tell you if it's clearance, but if you suspect it might be or the price is too good to be true, just go to the brand website and it usually says like some form of clearance sale or this product's end of line, whatever it might be. Just actually dig for the answers, right? Not everything is just there in your face, although now we do have that little eye symbol, you know, you do have to dig for things, you know, you have to find your own answers, but they're all there to be found. Just put the work in.
So obviously this is A2A. A lot of people are doing OA, online arbitrage.
Yeah.
So what is online arbitrage?
Very similar to A2A, right? Apart from you're just not buying it from Amazon. So for example, let's say you're on this product, hit the Google button. It's now going to load up this product that sells on Amazon on anywhere else that it's also on sale, right? So you see Argos here, Berry, all these other retailers, right? With the products, it's super important when you hit the Google button to like verify it's identical, because they're just bringing up like similar ones. In order to sell on this Amazon listing, you need to make sure it's 100% the right product. But 9 times out of 10 when you hit the Google button, most of the products coming up here are just identical, right? So essentially where OA comes into play is you hit the Google button.
Google button on SellerAmp, right?
On SellerAmp,
yeah.
Right? It's going to load up like this, the product, and all these other retailers, and if you know how to go and find a discount code on top of that, you're going to be laughing. Like you can literally see for this one, right, a Berry, it's literally telling you there's a discount code there, look. Computing 10% off, and you get it for $359. I don't think this is a good lead, to be honest. No, it's not going to be, right? So it hardly sells, but sometimes the discount codes are literally just staring you in the face, right? You know, a lot of people just assume that's the price you're going to get it for everywhere, but if you, the real trick of OA is just knowing where to find discount codes. That's the trick. And some of them, I've literally just told you, some of them are just in your face, you know.
Some of them aren't.
Some of them aren't. More importantly, some of the best ones aren't. No, let's try and find out one more banger. Let's see if we got one more banger.
Let's find another banger.
Pick a category.
Let's go back to personal care.
Let's see if you've got a nose for it. Let's just prick something on there.
Well, I like Oral-B because I know it fluctuates a lot.
Okay.
So let's go with the IO9.
This one here.
Let's have a look at that one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like you've picked a terrible one there.
Right.
Out of stock, but hang on. This white patch here, right? This is where Amazon's out of stock. There's no buy box. Amazon are out of stock, right? That's fine. They've just come back into stock here on Prime at 146.70, right?
So Amazon were out of stock.
Yeah, if it's white on the graph look here, Amazon are out of stock, okay? And you can also see the pink line like ends here, so there's no buy box either. So this product was basically like out of stock.
They took it off Amazon.
Yeah, no one was priced competitively, so there's no buy box. You could have still been able to buy this product, but there would have been no buy box in your face. That's why like sales have fallen off here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Completely fallen off. So getting it for 146, usually sells for probably like this 240 mark. You know, even here 240 went down a bit. Competitions are literally just one seller on there right now, that's Amazon. So basically a lot of people would have actually overlooked this, and even I would have first glance, and I used to, but these are the graphs me and Aiden love, because everyone's going to look at that and think, nah, too ugly, nothing's going on, been out of stock, too risky. But sometimes the ones that are a little bit risky are the most lucrative, right? So top price usually at like 242.
So you chuck that into SellerAmp, Bosch, 31% ROI.
Yeah. It usually sold, look here, look, 50 times a month at 242 price. So it does sell when it's in stock, and there it does sell, right? Because it's been out of stock for a bit, I'm just gonna have a look on Google, see where we're priced at. Lloyd's Pharmacy at like 162, Tesco's 165 for that sort of product. IO9 there on Oral-B for 222. So it's a little bit harder to gauge where this is going to go back to, but you can see what I mean about it being a different product, right? Tesco's IO9, you can see like the photo of that. I'll show you. Click into IO9, to be fair, that's actually identical, isn't it?
And that's not on sale on Tesco, or
that's not on sale on Tesco. That's looking pretty much bang on. Right, I need to like verify the EAN, the barcode, to make sure it's the money shop. But, like, same for like Lloyd's Pharmacy, this definitely looks different. Yeah, like, this is like the all black version. Actually, even that's the same, right? Pretty much the same. So
that's a no-go.
Yeah, that's a lot harder, right? Because back to what I said before about looking for this grey sales mark, can you see how all these people are like 165, 160? There's no sign of them being on sale. And like Pharmacy to you, I want like a big retailer to tell me, like a well-known retailer, like Tesco's, Lloyd's, Argos. I want them literally to tell me. Like, you can see Argos there at £200, but that looks slightly different. So you just got to be careful. Like, this one would go into my spreadsheet and I'd consider it, but it just wouldn't be like top of your list. There's going to be better ones out there, right? But there's no reason I wouldn't overlook this, right?
Premium brands. You can't sell Beats.
Yeah, knowledge.
Is that because it's owned by Apple? You can't sell Apple.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. What about that Samsung Galaxy Watch?
This one here.
Yeah, that one there.
You can sell some Samsung. You can. Some of them you can't, right? We'll have a look. Looking at that,
It's not looking too good, bro.
it's not looking too good, right? This white line new off count here, most people would assume you just can't sell on listings like this, and 9 times out of 10 that's correct, right? Like 9 times out of 10 you can't sell on listings where there's like a bullet straight one new off account. But I always attempt to get it in my inventory. Always.
Really?
It's always worth a shot, because if you can sell that, most people, again, you've got to be doing things that people aren't doing, right? Stuff that's outside the box. So if you look to that listing, most people, like 99% of Amazon sellers, would look at that and go, nah, you can't sell it, there's only one new off account. But sometimes Amazon just open up these listings, right? And you're allowed to sell them. So I'd like try and answer my inventory and see if I can sell it.
Right, let's go. Let's find another one.
Yeah, so
I'm going to find a banger, bro.
I would always try to get it in my inventory, but
Yeah.
I just want to find a banger for now.
Alright.
A real banger. Little Marshall speaker, right. Ooh, 149, down on sale for 107 on Prime. Oh look, 107.39. Top price, 149. Always returns back to 149, that's looking good. 149.00.
23%.
Tell me I haven't got a nose for it. So that is honestly the money shot. Ends on the 26th. Competition's not looking too bad at all. Amazon EU, we can ignore them. They're going to move up in price with Amazon, with normal Amazon or Amazon UK. Everyone's priced at 149, 23% ROI. You know, even for higher ticket, smaller products, you don't actually need that big of a sales drop for it still to be profitable. Like that is only, look, £43 difference between what we buy it for and what we sell it for, and we make £25 of that. So it hasn't even, it's only dropped by 40 quid, you know, 30%, and we're still on the money, right? A bit of a way. I'm gonna hit Google.
All right, let's hit the Google button.
Curry's 113. Brown website 149, right? There's even more confidence.
Proof.
Of where the product's going to go back to, right? That's all you need. But usually Brown website, if they're not down on sale, then discount code does get a bit tougher. Looking at that, nowhere else is really on sale, which is fine. Like, don't trust stuff like that. Buy from brands or reputable retailers. You know, if you don't recognise them, the chances are they might be real, but you have to think about supply chain. What I said about Cogita. Think about supply chain.
If you can't prove it,
If you can't prove it, it doesn't matter.
that's a reason to not buy it.
That's a reason to not buy it.
There we go.
I was learning. Yeah, honestly, that graph looks great. It's a great one to finish on. We found what? Source in there for maybe 20 minutes.
A lot.
For people with like, for me and Aiden, we spend a lot of money every month on leads, like 100 to 150k on leads. We have to source a lot, right? But even still, we don't have to source that much. Whereas, you know, with a Prime Day, where people start with limited capital, it's really not that hard to get your spend up. Yeah, and I haven't even, like, we've just been picking out random stuff. Like, on a Prime Day like this, it's literally endless. Like, I'll just be able to keep scrolling. It will just keep loading me more leads.
Yeah, I mean, you've been explaining literally every single step, but I imagine if you're doing this on your own, you're just flying through these.
Yeah, just locked in, headphones on, smash through this. And the more experience you get, you know, like for you picked out, what did you pick out? You were picking out like beats, and even you picked up stuff like that. But as I'm looking through here, I just know what I can and can't click on. Like, I'm not going to sell alcohol. Lego, I don't really mess with Lego. We just don't do toys. Like, that's just mine and Aiden's thing. A lot of people make a lot of money on toys. Like, that just looks IP to me. I'm not even going to waste my time on it. Can't sell Amazon Kindle. Samsung, I know you can't really sell too much Samsung. I might have a quick glance. Again, looks IP. Maybelline's low ticket, 50% off. I'd probably look at that, right? High ticket Hoover, bit too expensive. Me and Aiden don't like to go in that expensive, because if you get one return, you're cooked. Low ticket, again, like all these things. TVs, me and Aiden don't sell TVs. Again, they're like too high a return rate. So like, you don't actually go through this line by line, just through experience. I just kind of know what I'm looking for. Like when I just sniffed out that Marshall speaker, you just have a nose for it.
Got it.
Experience, you know, it's like Amazon rewards consistency, right? If we had the same amount of time going through that deals section with the same deals, I'm always finding more just because I've got more experience. But yeah, and we've been sat there and we made £10.
Hey,
Let's go.
what do you want for June so far? Oh,
23rd of June, 22k profit, 180k. That's
Shit.
not bad. Like, hopefully we're getting 30k. I'm
Pretty
actually
good, bro.
hoping we get 30k. Yeah, big month it's been. Definitely 200k easy money.
sales.
Hopefully 30k profit. You know, we're pretty much averaging, which is 23rd, we're pretty much having a k profit a day, slightly under target, right? People are spending more when the sun's out. People love to spend more. 4-day Prime Day, people are literally on Amazon. It's the most active time for Amazon right now, other than like Black Friday and Christmas.
well, that was super helpful.
Yeah, I think
I reckon I could start a little store now.
easily.
Get
Honestly,
busy.
just from, you know, it's literally, Amazon are literally telling you what's on sale. So if you, as you learn the analysis and you get better and better, and like I keep saying, you develop a nose for it, this does just come down to actually turning up every day. If you go on Prime deals every single day, I guarantee you can launch a successful Amazon business from this.
Just one method.
Just one small method, and it's literally staring you in the face on Amazon.
That's not even going
launch
on
it.
Keeper or anything. That's just one method.
Man, nothing, no software. That's literally just using the Amazon sales section and going through vigilantly, line by line, analyzing your leads and buying. Looking at what the data tells you. Like Amazon Keeper, Sign tell you everything.
Bro, there's literally, as you said, thousands of products. Surely that's literally taking you all day.
Yeah, look, that is what I was doing there. It feels quick for me because I know what I'm looking for, right? For the fresh person going in there, they're like on a beach without a metal detector, right? Looking for like gold and shit.
They're digging through the sand.
Digging through the sand. Whereas Keeper, which what I was doing all morning, right? I literally just run a handful of filters and all of the good leads come to me. I just have to analyze the graphs. It takes half the amount of time. I go through way more products. I don't have to like literally find them on Amazon store. They just come to me in a big long list. You know, that's the real cheat code. So this is an insight of what you can do if you're just starting off, no software. That's how easy it actually can be. But it gets even easier than that, which is mad to think, right? Because that's not even hard.
Right, let's see some Keeper then, bro.
Absolutely not, bro.
No?
What I've just given you there is more than you'll ever find that's up to date on YouTube in terms of sourcing. I've just sourced live of you on Amazon deals, right? That doesn't happen very often. You're not gonna find that on YouTube. Keeper is even easier than that, and it saves me and Aiden half the time, and our mentees half the time. So no, I can't give away Keeper for free. That's the source. That's like the real source, right? That's the system. That's what makes Amazon super effortless.
You said metal detector.
That's your metal detector, right?
Shit.
Here you're going through all the bad stuff. You're trying to pick through IP and stuff. Whereas on the Keeper, you can just filter all that out. You can use it to filter the entire Amazon store. Like on there, I'm only seeing what 20 products in one go. Keeper will literally fizz through millions of products in one go and give me all the best ones, and then I just give them a last bit of analysis. You know. So
What, and you have like a special filter or some shit?
yeah, special filter. Well, it's special if you don't want to call it special, but it's pretty special to me and Aiden. It's how we built this business. You know, it's what's producing those numbers every day. So that sort of stuff is not going to be found on YouTube, I'll be real. If you're interested in that sort of stuff, DM Aiden on Instagram. That's where I'd go for that. Just shout Aiden on Instagram. Tell him you need a system and you're fed up of wasting time aimlessly sourcing on Amazon.
I mean, the mentees are crushing it, so
Yeah, bro,
I understand why you can't share it.
the mentees are crushing it.
But this was great. We're going to do more sourcing videos, I think.
Yeah, this is way more coming. Look, we've already done one in Marbella. We're even going to do more during Prime Day. You know, I've been sourcing now for like 20 minutes with you. We'll probably do it every single day for Prime Day and just scatter these videos out, right?
Come on.
Way more coming. I'm just going to keep sourcing because me and Aiden have got the abundance mindset. When you realise how much is actually out there, we can afford to teach people. And what you've seen today just proves how much is actually out there. Even I know it's a Prime Day, there's always another Prime Day around the corner. There's always another sale around the corner. So yeah, stay tuned on the Fulfilled by TFT channel, right? We're going to be dropping way more value, way more sourcing. We've definitely got some whiteboard videos coming, right? Better explanations to stuff, but the sourcing is what you want to see. You want to see how to actually make money. So that's what we're going to show you the most of. So yeah, like, subscribe, hit Aiden up on Instagram, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.